Hey guys, it's Joel from Cymatic Empire here, and I just wanted to give you a quick overview of our FL Studio template because of a recent conversation we had in the site producers group recently. So yeah, some people have a really basic template that just might have their kick and bass and a few percussions like in the sequencer, but I actually have an arrangement and all of my mix are all set up and configured, and it basically is enough for me to jump straight into what I love doing, is working on melodies and synth lines. And having a track already there means that I can actually hear some of my ideas in context with an existing arrangement. So the idea that I might have might be a like a little pattern that might sit really well at the start of the track, or it might be a full-on climatic lead line that I'm going to finish a track on. So depending on where what that inspiration sort of led to, I can jump straight into a part of a already produced track and open up a clip and just start working on a synth line straight away. And that's what I love about having a mostly produced template that's already set up with all its mixer states. Means that I know that the production is actually going to be at a certain level, and all the things that I would usually spend hours putting together is all there already. So I'm just going to play you just a couple of different sections of the template, and this is actually what I see the second I open FL Studio. So just really quick intro. And just some beat. Build up. So that's what's there every time I go into Fruity, and I'll just explain a little bit about how I actually use this template, starting with the sequencer. So I've got everything broken up into different groups. So my main beats is all produced here, and I use something called the FPC in order to construct my patterns. And I've got a bunch of different patterns that I use, and they're all named kick 1, kick 2, kick 3. So as you sort of progress through those numbers, those are different components of what I would typically have as kick and percussion. So basic kick and bass. But if I wanted to change this whole section here to kick 4, then that's everything. Not everything, but you know what I mean. So kick 5 is the one that has the open hi-hat. So I'll change that back to just kick and bass. And if I want to change the bass line to a different type of bass line, I can just go. So bass 1 is basic. Bass 2. Triplet. And rolling. And I also have just a more full-on bass line. So this is my go-to, just a standard rolling. And you'll hear that the pad has a noise gate, so I use gates a lot as well. And these are all different patterns as well. So if I go into here, then I've got 3 different patterns of MIDI gate that I can use, and anytime I want to set anything to a mitigate, I can just easily assign that to that controller, which is awesome. So yeah, with all of these different impact sounds, I tend to layer things quite a bit, but I also change. So, you know, some tracks need a different vibe. So I usually have two or three different versions of sounds that I can really easily swap over, rather than loading up my the arrangement window with all these different samples and then yeah, just getting really confusing. It's easy for me to just keep things in a really structured way. And all I do is just, you know, replace sounds. So if I want to change all of those sounds all at once, I could just, you know, click that and just replace it with a different sound. Yeah, so I'll typically keep these things, these ones collapsed. And this is what I usually am working with. Yeah, even this. I'll typically start a project and just be working in the synth lines for a first couple of hours, instead of spending hours constructing a track and then you know, saving the whole you know, getting a nice mix done for later. I'll just jump straight into a lead and typically start working on like the build up. If the idea that I had was like a end lead, and when I reckon I've got that pretty figured out, I'll just grab this whole section, I'll move it over to here, and then I'll grab usually this section of the track, and I'll bring that over there, and then I'll start trying to figure out what the middle sections of the track are going to be. So I'll just start filling out that middle section. Once I've got that done, then I'll actually start working on the intro section, and then you know, that's pretty much most of a track done. I can get pretty much a whole track done, you know, to a playable standard within one session, like, you know, maybe 6 or 8 hours. And that's how long it used to you know, to take how long it used to take me just to get, you know, the start of a track done. It used to take me 2 sessions at least, and I wouldn't do any real much EQing or compression, or just the usual things that you would do to get your production sounding nice, because the problem is starting from scratch after being inspired by something is that you spend so much time trying to, you know, just build a track around this idea, that by the time you've gotten some sort of track mostly done, all of that flow is gone. That inspiration that you had, like all the ideas that you had, are all forgotten because your brain was concentrating on looking through sample banks, just trying to find the right snare after an hour. So this has helped me massively. I'm going to share this this template soon. I'm just going to add a few more libraries of patterns, so that makes things much easier for you. And yeah, so that's basically it. The next video I'll do will actually show me making a track from scratch using this template, and you can see how sort of quickly I go through it. Anyway, that's it from me. Just thought I'd just give you guys that little bit of the heads up that there's an FL Studio template coming, and if you want it, yeah, you just need to go to our Facebook page, Cymatic Empire, and, you know, just give it a like and a follow, and I'll post this video there as well, and just say that you want it in that post. Okay, catch up.